morning, beloved. Sorry. Got me clearing my throat there. It is Friday, June 16th. We are still in chapter 15, but he's giving us real world examples of how to make associations for treatment and things like that. So, we are in the middle of page 234, and we are starting with false growths, which he has in parentheses, tumors, cancers, and gallstones. All right. Now, before I even get into this one, I'm going to remind you, we are big believers in doctors. If you have any of these conditions, because they can be very serious conditions, please consult with your doctor. We want to work with you, not replace doctors, okay? So, all right. We must think of the subjective state of our thought as our atmosphere in the universal mind, for we cannot separate ourselves from the universe. There is but one mind, and we are in it. We are in it as intelligence. It accepts our thought and acts upon it. Destructive emotions, desires, or ideas, unless neutralized, will grow into some bodily condition and may produce disease. Disease without thought could not manifest, no matter what the disease may be. We are surrounded by a receptive intelligence which receives the impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. If the thought of false growths can be erased, the manifestation can be healed. Declare, every plant which my heavenly Spirit hath not planted shall be uprooted. The heavenly Spirit is the reality of people and is eternal presence and perfection. Dissolve the idea of false growths by knowing that there is nothing for them to feed upon. Erase the belief in your own mentality and you will remove it from the mentality of the patient and thereby project healing into their body. In treating cancers and tumors, there should be a harmonizing of the consciousness with that will cleanse the blood. Declare, divine love within me removes from my consciousness every thought unlike God, good in parentheses. In my physical body, there is only room for perfection, because that thought which is sustaining and nourishing my body is where only of perfection. Nothing can come into being from the one creative mind, and nothing can flourish unless there is something to nourish it. Accordingly, I know that my thought does not sustain any false growth, either consciously or unconsciously originated. And the interesting thing is there is a whole lot of research on cancers and tumors and how our mood and state of mind affects it, and how the cancer treatments are affected by our attitude, and it's not just positive attitudes. People with positive attitudes do tend to do much better than people with negative attitudes, but people with fighting attitudes, they do really well also. So I do remind you that anger has a place. So, all right, back to the reading. Sorry. I'm not sorry. I don't know why I say that. All right. I just got off on a tangent, like my mentor, Jesse, does. Back to the reading. The depression, the misunderstanding, the maladjustment, the frustration, which may have taken place in my life, is now eradicated. God is the one causation back of all manifestation, and there could not be cause for a development of any kind contrary or superfluous to the divine order. Therefore, there cannot remain within my body anything which does not express perfection. God life in and through me forever cleanses, heals, and renews every organ and every atom in my body after the pattern of perfection. False mental causes are removed by a freshness of thought, sustained by an affirmative outlook of faith and trust in the perfection of life. The only accretion which takes place in the body is that produced by the activity of perfect principle, and what the body cannot use is passed on freely. And science backs that up. It backs up the affirmative outlook. It does. All right. In any of the diseased conditions, the affirmative outlook will get, you will respond better to treatment. People respond better to treatment. Their survival rates are better. Their how long they live after, all of that affirmative outlook. Science backs it up. All right, back to the reading. We have learned that there is only one substance out of which everything is made. Cabbages and kings, hands and houses, money and men. Consequently, any wrong condition in the human body is made from exactly the same substance from which the most perfect form is created. The pure and perfect light of spirit dissipates and dispels every discordant form from these things which are not implanted by divine spirit, have no law to support them. Whether it be cancer, fibroid tumor, a wen, a cyst, or a gallstone, the practitioner must know that the spirit indwelling their patient is perfect and completely manifested, and that every shadow of erroneous conclusion is wiped out. False growth is neither person, place, nor thing. It has no life to sustain it. It cannot take root in truth, and it has no vitality, no substance, and no power, and cannot be fed nor nurtured by truth. Wow. All right, Ernest. Okay. I'm going to read one more section, because that's, I don't know what a wen is. I don't know. I know everything else. I was like, no, I know what that is. I don't know what a wen is. It's W-E-N. So let me remind you, the book's almost 100 years old. Okay. This section is removing the complex. Suppose someone is constantly saying everything is all wrong in the world. People are wrong. Things are wrong. Conditions are wrong. All is sickness and unhappiness. Nothing seems worthwhile. You, as a practitioner, must not be disturbed by this complaint. It is your business to remove this complex, for these inner emotions create outer conditions in and through the body, and are responsible for a great deal of sickness in the world. Treatment straightens out consciousness by clear thinking. When the inner consciousness agrees with the truth, then, and not until then, a demonstration takes place. Specifically, go over the thoughts which are wrong and use the power of your word to heal them. Medical practice takes into consideration the thoughts back of disease, and many eminent physicians probe deeply into the complex, the obsession, or the defense mechanism disclosed by the thought of the patient, which has resulted in blindness, deafness, mutism, etc. I'm not sure that's true anymore. Doctors do send patients to therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists. So that's an interesting idea. Like I said, it's been 100 years since this book was written. But it is, that's what the Eastern medical does. They do body, mind, and soul. They understand for true healing to be in effect, you've got to take care of the body, the mind, and the soul. I think Western has just separated it all out and compartmentalized it to our, not to our benefit. All right, back to the reading. The spiritual mind healing we recognize that cause is never material or physical. There is only one first cause, but it is often necessary for the practitioner to diagnose the thought of their patient. In fact, this is an important point in healing. This is psychoanalysis from psyche or soul. Psychoanalysis is the analysis of the soul or subjective mind. Its teaching is that within the soul or subjective mind, all the seeds of our thoughts fall, and that most of a person's physical troubles are caused by some inner conflict. The conscious mind, desiring certain things which it cannot have, sends into the subjective thought opposing desires which conflict with each other and mentally tear or bind. As they manifest in the body, they produce disease. It is claimed that 70% of all disease are the result of suppressed emotions. These emotions are not necessarily sex emotions, but maybe any suppressed desires. I think this was written pretty close to Freud here. All right. It is probable then that when Jesus forgave the man his sins, he realized that the man had a complex of condemnation within himself. The sense of condemnation which the race holds about itself weighs it down, and it must be removed. This explains why Jesus said, "Thy sins are forgiven thee." It is feeling that hurts. It has been said, life is a comedy to them who thinks, a tragedy to them who feels. I've never heard that before, but that's interesting. Okay. But, it's in reading that paragraph, then you think, okay, and so many of the religions are so into guilt that the religions are literally keeping us sick. Okay, back to the reading. We recognize that everything is in mind and that nothing moves but mind. The intelligence is back of everything, acting through a thought force which is concrete, definite, and real. The reason people do not realize that mental healing is possible is that they do not understand the meaning of causation. They do not realize that intelligence is back of all things, that there is but one fundamental intelligence in the universe, and that the individual is simply a point where this one mind manifests as person. Disease must come through mind in order to operate through us. There is but one subjective mind in the universe, and we are always thinking into it. The practitioner talks about their patient, explaining to them the law of mind, teaching them the way, diagnoses their thoughts, points out to them that certain mental attitudes produce certain physical results, teaching them how to be harmonious in their thinking, how to be at peace, how to trust and believe in the good. In other words, the practitioner lifts them up mentally and spiritually and supports their thoughts until they can stand alone. A practitioner must be filled with the spirit of divine compassion. They must have a deep underlying sense of unity and sympathy, else they will do but little good. But they must not have sympathy with the disease. The only guarantee of our divinity is in its expression through our humanity. Consequently, an enlightened soul understands the meaning of sympathy and exercises it, but not morbidly. Oh, wow. Right there in 2 paragraphs, does he just explain what a practitioner does? Why we do what we do, why it's important that we do what we do. And when it comes to healing, it is very important. Our attitude is very important. Our attitude is so important. Now, Ernest, this is 100 years old, and Ernest we have to be careful. We do have to be careful now with the language. Like the psychoanalysis, I don't think we can use that terminology. We definitely can't use the diagnosis their thoughts. Cause there's a branch of science, the psychology, the psychiatry, that's, they use that medical terminology. So just be aware, we don't use that kind of language for reasons, but this book is almost 100 years old. So, all right. But for being 100 years old, he's right. Our attitude has so much to do with our physical health. It really does. All right. So we are going to pick this up tomorrow. We are going to start on 238 with heart trouble. We still have a ways to go in this chapter. I think we're it may take 10 parts to get through, but there's so much in it. It's such good stuff, and it's rich and it's full, and he's giving us like his examples of treatments, and they're wonderful, and I hope you are benefiting from them. So, all right. But I do need to get on because I do have one more day of work this week. So I'm going to remind you that what I like to call the housekeeping, that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. An easy way to support the center is to go like, follow, subscribe, share, comment. It bumps us in the algorithms. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. If you need more information you would like more information about the center, there's 2 ways to get it. 1, creativelife.org. That is our website. And 2, you can email info@creativelife.org and get on the constant contact. You get 1 email a week. It's done by a real person. And the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. So please take advantage of that. And now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a take care of yourself day. I visit a chiropractor day. I did this morning. A hug your fur baby day. Chico just turned up. A wrap your week up day. A take care of business day. Have a silly day. Have a fun day. Go do something interesting day. A serious day, if you need to have a serious day. I'm running out of words day. And that's okay. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. All right. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. All right. Because I can promise you one thing. It's the only thing I can promise you. The person the divine knows you to be is good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds. Like I said, I'm going to go to work, wrap up my week, and then spend Catterday with my cats. Yay. So I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to remind you, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. We are not getting through chapter 15 very fast, but we'll get there. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.